Go now to dryerbuzz.com and follow at DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.
All right, let's just go ahead and get this thing started because let me tell you, there's so many things that I am trying to do right here. Like I don't. Well, thank God this is going into a podcast because I could have did a whole podcast by the time I finished getting set up for this thing. And the dog, he's trying to be so tricky right now. Like he's trying to hide behind this chair rather than going to the back. He knows there's a lot of work going on outside, and it's making him bark. And he's like trying to quietly, silently bark, knowing that I'm going to get all upset in a minute, right? And then too, I'm over here trying to fix this thing because I wanted to use a different image. And you know how we do? It's like, let's just change things like right now, right before it's time. Let's not even plan it for tomorrow or next week. Let's just do it like right now because you know how I am. That's why I have trouble can't get out of bed. But listen, I know if you're looking for how to get out of bed, do not look easy. I didn't say you can come back in here out. Look at him. See, he thinks because I got busy, he can just come around the corner. So it's the weekend, and that means instead of a how to get out of bed, I'm probably already out of bed, even though I don't want to be out of bed because it's the weekend. But then you know how my week goes. But we're going to talk about a buzz it or bash it. That means that y'all are all up in the salons and the barbershops. Some of y'all are over hanging out in people's living rooms, bedrooms, garages, all kinds of things, looking for that discount. And I don't mean to laugh because I'm telling you, we live in a world of convenience. If you have not up leveled or, whatever you call it, to providing a service of convenience to your customers, you probably don't have a customer right about now. And if you do not have a customer right about now, and you try to figure out, Dad, how do I get some more customers up in here? You need to go to AskDryerBuzz.com. I'm going to tell you how much. And if this question sounds strange and odd to you, you don't have a business. But if you legitimately have a business, you understand this question: how much does a customer cost? Not how much should you make, but how much does the customer cost? That's the conversation we're going to have this week. And also going forward, we are building and bringing back Answer Dryer Buzz, along with 27 Answers. 27 Answers is the brand of publications that we have telling you how to create buzz, how to rock social media, how to rock like Beyonce, how to rock like Oprah, how to rock. Okay, but now that you're rocking, we're going to tell you how to amplify it and how to get some longevity in it, not just these one-offs and different things like that, catching a trend here and there, but you want this to be your everyday. What do you want to, listen, and goes along with how to get out of bed, but what do you want to be your everyday? We talk about that a lot because we go through these peaks and valleys and up a hill and down a hill and, and just running into walls and putting out fires and just trying to get some consistency in our life. Consistency that we consistently have some joy, not consistently like, okay, I got to go deal with this. My life is only this and that and the other thing, but make sure I took the meat off before I keep going. It's that kind of morning. It's that kind of day. While I got up and I'm productively dressed and ready to roll out, I was like, oh, you got to do a podcast. So, but if you want some consistency in amplifying, and I mean, like seriously, your business, then I need you to go to, you need to go to Ask Dryer Buzz. And if you're on any of our channels, you can see that that's how we monetize with Ask Dryer Buzz. So you're going to see a store. On my Facebook page, it's like, hey, there's a store. That is a store. That is a store where you can download workshops, webinars, courses, books, and so forth and so on. People who go there, they got customers right now. They got customers right now, and that's what being in business. You're not in business if you don't have a customer. You gotta have a customer. So go and check it out and see what we're putting on November the 9th. Particularly, I will be launching the next course, which is called Wake Up Famous. Wake Up Famous. This weekend we're going to finish the uploading for podcast and wake up famous, podcast and wake up famous. And so forth. And I think there is the individual consulting is there already. If you want to do a call, a side by side, or get in the inbox and get some work done on your business, we can do a side by side, which comes with contacts. So contacts, connections, and customers. It comes with customers, right? Because that's what you're gonna get, and that's how you're going to reimburse your expense of using any of this. You're like, oh, I don't have money. Okay, and then I can say to that. But I will tell you, if you do select and purchase one of those products, you will reimburse the expenses. Your new customers will reimburse those expenses. All right, let's get to this buzz it or bash it. Because as soon as I walked up in the barbershop, they were like, Dryer Buzz, let me ask you this. I'm like, or if I don't care where I go. It's like, what do you think about this? What's going on? What does that really mean? Let me tell you what all this really means. I'm going to tell you, or maybe I won't. I don't know. But here's some things that had us trolling and scrolling all week long. First of all, let's go back. Let's go back to this Amber Geiger trial. Let me wet my lips here. The last cup of lemonade. The last cup of blackberry lemonade. No artificial flavors, no artificial colors. We made it right here in the kitchen. No, I don't make it and sell it, but I show you how. Recipes out there. You should have some lemons on the stove right now. Go ahead and throw some blackberries up in there. Sweeten it according to your dietary restrictions. Sip on it all weekend. Spike it if you like, but at least I know you sipping on some no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, real lemons, okay, and real fruit. But let's go back to this. The Judge Huggable decided. So this is the thing that she doesn't get, and this is the thing that a lot of them don't get is. And I know, okay. After first of all, these what's considered to be high-profile cases. First and foremost, high-profile cases just means that the judicial system and parties of the first party, the second party, and all those involved capitalizing off of the visibility and the interest, the general public interest. This is what first you want to know what went wrong. That's the first part that goes wrong when we select cases, when there's 1,000, 1,000,000 of them on the docket. When we select a case and make it a high profile case. Now this one, there are several reasons why this one, the murder of Botham Jean, the reason why it was a high profile case was simply because a man was murdered in his own home by a police officer trained to be highly aware, saying that she did not have any of her sensibilities, and enter his domicile and kill the man because she assumed she was in her domicile. Now, the one thing that a trained police officer, because they're allowed to do their duty off duty, right? There is no such thing as you're not a police person in this time, because even because how many, I'm like, go I don't want to tell you to Google because you can't, but go go find a channel, do a search, and see how much they are able to exact justice upon citizens even off duty. So you're still expected even off duty to be highly aware, engage in justice, exact restraint, de-escalation. You're still expected to do that at all times, no matter what, right? But here's a person that says on the phone with your boyfriend, distracted with this, stressed with that, and all this kind of stuff, coming off duty, drove to the wrong location, walked the whole way to the wrong location, even though, and I know some of these places, I had to go to one the other day, visit a friend. I'm like, what is this? It all looks the same. I understand. And I told y'all, even personally, I've had a person end up on my couch, but they were highly impaired. Like, dude, you turned the wrong way. You got to go. Gotta get up out of here. But we both parted alive. And it was a difficult situation trying to convince a person coming out of a stupor that, looking around like, this is not no, it's not. Right? And it could have gone so many ways wrong, but yet this wasn't a person who was expected to never be impaired in such a place, in such a moment, that they misguided. I mean, I tell you, I walk in my house every day. I look around because I'm trying to figure out which one of the kids done been through here, done got my good leftovers, for lunch. I'm like, because I know I want to come in, I want to go, like right now, when I get off this podcast, I got a whole 3/4 of a cheesesteak in the microwave, just got to hit that button. Now, I woke up smelling cheesesteak. Now, I was like, wait a minute, let me make sure. Make sure, because I had 4 kids and we got a cheesesteak rule in the house. It might be leftovers, but you better check. And I know I had to woke up a disappointed mama several times with the cheesesteak gone, right? I'm just saying, all of these things we're able to understand that, but then, and I know people try to throw a whole bunch of other stuff in there, and yes, that stuff applies too. But what we end up doing, buzz it or bash it, we go too far when the case is proven at the very beginning. But see, some people in society are so used to everything about them being suppressed, particularly in media, which is why at Dryerbuzz we always and forever are sharing the hashtag media apartheid. Because see, in media apartheid, daily, there's a meeting daily to suppress certain stories, even though there's umpteen thousand channels on television of certain sectors of society causing havoc and catastrophes to each other. One show is called Snap, and there's so many. You can turn on 50 channels right now and see the things that these people are doing to you. You're like, wait, but you never see this stuff on the news. This woman that went home and shot a whole family. This man over here, he done killed this, that, and the other. But you never see all of that stuff on the news because the news people have a meeting every morning. And they decide what stories they're going to tell. It ain't like just because that's the story. No, they decide, oh, we're not going to tell that one, but go get me the black stories. No, put that one away. No, replace that one with a black story. Let's do a cat. Wait, black people did everything good today? Well, go give me a cat story. Go see, did we rescue a horse? Is there a horse? Is anybody rescuing a horse, a goat? Because no, we're not going to tell. No. But wait, no. If it was a slow news day, there's got to be a cat story out there somewhere. We're not gonna say nothing good about black people. That's not gonna manipulate the emotions. Disseminating information abstract. Okay, because that's what they do. It's in the paycheck every week. It's in the contract. What you can and what you cannot say. We're gonna talk about it. And I'm sorry, that ain't conspiracy. That's actual facts. That's actually what goes on in the media. I've been telling you, they're like, you need to come inside, come visit us and see what we do. And I'm like, y'all didn't disprove nothing I said. You disproved nothing. I spent the entire morning inside a local news agency, right, a news network here in Atlanta, and they disproved nothing. I'm like, I'm sorry. Because, that's the Asian news anchor. She didn't come in here with what went on in the Asian community, and they got hella gangs. They armed. You go out there and pull some of those cameras. They having shootouts every night, pretty much. When they get home, they driving home from all these, you mean tell me, life is all copacetic. They driving home from all these restaurants, okay? We got some scoop of food in there now. Whether it was $1.10 a scoop, right? Got a whole leftover plate in there. You mean to tell me that driving back to their community, Tucker, College Park, yeah, all those places, and they got cameras all over the house, and the whole living room is stacked with boxes of merchandise, because they don't want to bought all the discount, bought it all together, and like, here, you take this part home, and all the nail salon people, their whole living room is full of boxes of product. Whole living room, garages, all that, right? And because they purchase everything together, it don't fit in the Toyota, so it has to be delivered. Y'all take y'all part, so they can offer y'all the competitive prices on the weekends. Buzz it or bash it. I'm just telling you, this is the nature of how business is done. Okay, so when they go into the house, they didn't go to the bank to drop the money off. The money's there. Everybody knows. So they get home invasions. These home invasions are happening all over the place. But the Asian news anchors, they ain't walking in. Oh, we had 5, 6 more home invasions this weekend. Okay, well, put that away. Right? We'll put that away. That's not. Nobody care. That's not gonna manipulate any emotions. No, it's not. Y'all not. In fact, it's gonna make you want to leave America. It's gonna make you want to go across the board. It's gonna make you want to not live in certain neighborhoods. If you know, everybody got these Ring doorbells. What do you think? Those videos, they're out there online. You can go watch. You can watch you can watch somebody go down a whole ass street I mean, you can follow somebody all over. In fact, y'all got apps out there. You went and got apps and logged in your family's information. You follow your family like all over the city, right? Well, where do you think that information is being fed through? It's your phone. It's coming through your phone because you don't turn the Wi-Fi off. It's coming through your phone, and I don't even know if these phones today you can turn anything off. I don't even know if you can unsubscribe, ungrant permissions or anything like that, right? How do you think GPS tells you that there's 100 people sitting at the intersection or that it's congested? Phones, yours and mine's. Okay, let me call. So anyway, back to the media. So here, where we go? Okay, so back to Amber. But I'm just saying, when you want the facts, you want to piece all these puzzles together. It breaks down like that. It breaks down like that. So even though you're looking at the news, which we ought not to do ever, because that stuff has already happened, and if you ain't dead, you ain't on the news. Okay, I'm just saying. If you ain't have an accident, what you need to know about the other one? I don't know. But anyway, you ain't shot nobody. You ain't been shot. Anybody around you? I mean, like, look around. Anybody around that's been shot, we good. Okay, I'm just saying. What do you need to watch? Because what's happening to us, y'all, is we're at the point now we can't even go to the store. I want you to look around today. Y'all are out there. You got this in your ear and on your phone. I want you to just take a look around. And I want you to notice how many people are like their eyes. It's in the eyes. The eyes are switching so fast of people trying to watch to see what's happening to them. Because, and even though nothing has ever happened to them, the sources down their timeline, they've seen all these things, they've watched all these videos, and they're just on guard. They're on guard that something's gonna happen. Somebody brush up against them wrong. Somebody do this wrong. This now, they're just ready to. The tinder boxes tick 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 tock tick tock. Everybody's ticking, and like you just can't. You just can't. You hold the door for somebody. You don't. I'm walking around. I'm like smiling at folk. Like let me disarm you. Let me bring you down a notch. And people they can't take it. Like wait, why are you smiling? Like I want you to be happy. Why? We're on edge. We're so on edge because we are absorbing too much. We're absorbing too much of this stuff and too much of the stuff that's not really real. It really hasn't happened. Talk about fake news. There is, and I hate to agree with Trump, even though he stole it from media apartheid. It is things that people are escalating things, and when you look to the source of why they think the way they do, it comes back to what they are subscribing to and consuming in this media realm. That's the only way to get it. If you live in rural or downtown or wherever you live, you've not had these experiences. I want you to tell yourself, this is not my experience. Even when I have to come on and talk about situations that have happened with police and even this Amber Geiger case, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can understand if that was her defense. But I'm sorry, you're not allowed to have that defense because you are trained in other ways. I'm saying somebody's ended up on my couch. They turned they came through, parked in the wrong spot, came in the wrong building. Kid just opens the door, child over visiting, somebody knocked, we got people coming over, this, that, and the other. They run and grab the door, dude comes in, falls on the couch. I'm like, what damn, was my couch in the same place as yours? Probably. But he was highly intoxicated and quickly into a stupor. And I'm like, we were trying to, in fact, I had to go Google, get a translation. Like, let me figure out what language does this joker speak. I need to tell him that I'm about to go in on him, right? And he wakes up and he's like, where am I? Right, in the wrong place. But luckily, I didn't shoot him. He didn't shoot us, and those kind of things. We didn't go to blows. It was highly confusing, unnerving, and all those kinds of things. And even a neighbor, I didn't recognize him as an neighbor. I'm like, okay, he looked like them folk over there. He probably, like, you probably belong over there somewhere, But again, I wasn't trained, but still, what did I do? I acted rationally. I'm like, he speaks a different language. Let's find the language. So that way, when we leave him alone, let's find his language. So when we do, we wake him up in his language, and we communicate to him. That way, he don't come out of it looking at us like, okay. So, but still, untrained in that moment, I was able to de-escalate. So we had a person, if we just stop right there, stop adding on all this other stuff. This is where it goes wrong. We start adding on all this other stuff. Judge Huggable. That's what I really want to talk about was Judge Huggable. Because Judge Huggable, one, making this a high profile case, it was a high profile case because it was a story that manipulated us, even though we can all, for the most part, say that interacting with police, some of us can say that has not been our experience, but there are experiences by and large that have entirely changed our interaction. Even yesterday, I'm gonna give y'all a very clear example. A police officer who lives in the neighborhood, who we know, who's been inside the domicile. I'm telling y'all, this is where we are right now. Parked right next to me. All I saw at the corner of my eye was black and white. Okay? This dude done been inside the domicile. And I'm like, I ain't looking over there. I don't give a damn. Black and white. I'm at the mailbox. I'm like, get the mail. All I see is black and white. Where my mind go? Oh, we don't care about that. And I'm like, and Bubbly he's a bubbly officer. He's recognized. Oh, I know her. I don't care. Damn, she won't even look. I won't even look at him. He walks around into my peripheral with this big, beautiful smile as he has. Saw my daughter, gives a hello and all this kind of stuff. But I'm on guard. And then now I can't go, oh, I can't. I'm like, So my daughter was like, Mom, you didn't speak? That's so-and-so and all. And I was like, girl, you don't even know where I was. You don't even want to know where I was. Wow. That's where we are. That's where we are. That's a community police officer, community policing, going around checking. Hey, look, let me go make sure everybody's safe getting the mail. Let me go drive around the neighborhood. But see, the thing about it is, we're at a point, because of high profile incidences, real, not, the fear is real, factual, because of factual evidence, not because of false evidence, but because of factual evidence. An officer that I engage with often, in that moment, I'm on guard. He got to de-escalate me just to say hello. And everybody knows around here, oh, that's she up in the kitchen. Y'all should smell what's coming out of there. She up in the kitchen because one day she's going to invite us over. She's going to have them leftovers. We can't even go there because the high profile cases have taken us elsewhere. If my daughter, and like another thing too, in the summer, they had on their little summer biker uniforms. They had on their shorts and little shirts, friendly, officer friendly type stuff. Now he is in full on uniform. I hear the belt. I hear the belt with all the stuff on there, and all this kind of stuff, and he looks different. And I'm pretty sure he's like, damn, I don't put this uniform back on. I'm not officer friendly anymore. I look like the enemy. And of course, that should be his thought, right? Now he's like, he's not in the officer friendly uniform no more. Now we got to get used to, oh wait. So now when I see an officer, I got to go like, oh wait, this is where we are. Buzz it or bash it, y'all. This is where we are. Someone that I know been inside the domicile, and yet the wall went up as soon as I saw the black and white in the uniform. All right, so back to Judge Huggable. Judge Huggable in this case has put us in a crazy place, because something we have, first of all, what we have not seen before and what was not. And let's talk about what was shown in this case and what wasn't shown in this case. I still have not seen, because this is what normally happens. All rise. The judge going through her door, the criminal go through the door of no return. I ain't seen that video yet. Why? Because Judge Huggable, all caught up in the cameras, all caught up in, and she said it's something she do all the time, going down there hugging it. We've all been subjected to. We weren't subjected to. See, I know y'all trying to share the picture where she went and hugged the family and all that. Even that, it's like the judge it's not. We've just not seen, and I understand we might persecute it and prosecute it because it's something we haven't seen, and okay. Here come. I'm imagine other images are gonna come, and our perception is going to change. But in the moment, because the optics that we have always seen has been altogether different than what was immediately placed in front of us to manipulate our emotions some more, never mind the fact a young man is dead. Never mind the fact there's a mother that will have forever pain with every last one of her breasts until her last one. Never mind the fact that his family has got to go deep into their religion to process their every day to continue on and wanted to give forgiveness. We didn't understand that either because that whole narrative has been thrown at us, since day one. Those of us who still continue to live in America always told you got to forgive, you got to forgive. You keep wanting us to forgive people that ain't apologize. You keep wanting us to forgive that people keep trying to tell us shit didn't happen. You keep wanting us to forgive, the descendants of those and I understand. I clearly understand you being just a descendant. And you try to say you ain't having nothing to do with it, but you still participate in a lot of the benefactor. You still don't mind being a benefactor of some of these things, beliefs, perceptions, actions, and so forth. Right? That's something you can definitely atone for. You can stop desiring to be the benefactor. You can stop asking that those benefactors be in place, which you do in letters. There are letters out there when companies come into territories and new business, and y'all send the benefactor letter about how many jobs need to go for this, that, and the other. And we can go into that forever and a day. So if you feel like you are not to be blamed, stop trying to be a benefactor, because you still, and I'm talking, well, I don't even say who I'm talking to, because y'all can make it out. You're still trying to be a benefactor. You're still trying to be a benefactor. Okay, let me just say that. You're still participating in things that make you a benefactor. Now, if you say to me, I don't know what that means, I don't know what those things are, just 7 days, it happens 7 days a week. 7 freaking days a week. 24 hours a day. There are things that you demand as a benefactor. And now there are things that about you that the media is also using to manipulate the emotions of those who are not the benefactors, and therefore it continues to strain between those that are we're all descendants of this thing, y'all, first and foremost. But how Judge Huggable made it worse, right? First of all, let's not overlook the fact that this was a case that did receive a conviction. One of the reasons, even as a high profile case, we got to figure out why this case did get a conviction, and there's so many others that did not get a conviction. And I think one of the reasons this case did get conviction is because there were some associations that didn't happen in this case that happened in other cases. That what I really love about this case is they went for a conviction. They stayed steadfast in seeking a conviction and did not withdraw and just try to go for a monetary settlement type thing from the state. They stayed trying to convict the murderer as opposed to whatever's going on in some of these other cases. I don't know whatever's going on in these other cases. Like, we didn't see like lawyers for the family and all that kind of stuff. There's a representative for the family, and you need that, but understand that has no bearings on a state or city or municipalities prosecuting they just basically explaining to you what's going on and compiling if you then want to go for restitution in some form of shape after the fact. Like, I'm pretty sure, okay, we got a conviction. It's the police, they may go after some other entity. So you probably going to see some settlements coming if they haven't already happened. But I like the fact that they stayed fast on getting their conviction. But what was the thing that manipulated our emotions so much is this forgiveness narrative and how it is thrown at us. And it's okay if the family wants to forgive. It's okay if the judge want to forgive. But what we don't want to see is, the first thing we don't want to see is a judge hugging the person that's been convicted. And this, especially after we just had to watch a full-on documentary. Not even a documentary. There was a movie. There was the entertainment side of it, because the documentary that was already out there about the Central Park 5, the Gina 6, the 14 this, the 10 over here, the 5 over there, the 1 over there, the one in Texas that spent 6,000 days on death row. Because all of those other things, they manipulated our emotions. Yet Ava was able to make something entertaining enough to manipulate our emotions for us to understand the Central Park Five. So we just watched that, and which were wrongful convictions. The problem with Judge Huggable is that we've got people out here that have been wrongfully convicted that can't even get a semblance or a silence of understanding about what they went through. They're coming out every day, y'all. There's a whole, you can go out there and find a headline, not even a headline, but a family that's being reunited every day from a wrongful conviction. And yet, here we got this woman who now wants to go on a press tour, a media on all the talk shows, talking about, and then throwing at us talking about black folk wouldn't be mad if it was a black woman. No, we wouldn't. But we ain't seen that. We haven't seen that. What we have seen is we saw a black woman who shot in the air to defend herself. And damn if y'all didn't try to put her up under the prison and still trying to find something wrong with this woman being free. Okay? We know that prison systems are filled with women who are in prison simply because they had to defend themselves. Because we can't yet simply agree on, Buzzer the Basket, on what it means to harm a woman. We still trying to figure out how she deserved it. They're still trying to write laws on, is there somewhere we can say that she deserved that, or this, or the violence against her could not have been avoided. I promise you, under the gold dome right now. It's like, so yeah, we got a problem with you hugging somebody that's been convicted of going against everything that she has been trained to murdering somebody. Okay, and then further manipulating the emotion is somebody that looks like us, because what we understand is, even though it has not been the most of our experience, but it is highly, it happens that you don't get enough time with someone who has an extreme bias against you to prove you are right about something. I'm in my apartment, not yours. I don't even know if the brother got a chance to say anything. Because, I mean, what do you say when a crazy woman comes into your house yelling at you, and you know they got these yelling tactics now that you can't make out what they're saying, but it's some kind of command. You still trying to figure out, like, wait, who are you and why are you yelling at me in my place? Like, you mean at every given moment I'm supposed to have the wherewithal and the sensibilities to, even though you're acting all out of order, I gotta submit to you at any moment, even though you're wrong, right? There's not a single solitary moment for me to process what's happening here, and then I'm dead. Now, we know that if you are black and brown, there is no time. There's zero time. Okay? Death is imminent. It's like death is imminent. You don't have time you just gotta try to make out what this crazy person is saying and obey it. Okay, because death is imminent. And so now I gotta walk around with that. Dude pulling up trying to say hello. I'm sorry. I gotta process in how many ways can you kill me right now? He's just trying to say hello. He's like, hey, I know you. Yeah, I know. No, I don't know, because all I saw was black and white. I'm like, I don't even know where else to look. I don't even know where else to move. I don't even know what's going on. It's like, but you see what I'm saying? It's just trying to say hello. That was it. And yet I'm like, I'm processing, because all the imagery that I have seen, and even though I tell y'all, I know public safety at all levels, from the chiefs all over the counties to the zone commanders in Atlanta to the officers. I can tell you probably how many graduated last week, because that's what, but at the same time, I know many of these, and what I also know is that many of them are out there protecting us from that thing that does put us there. So, and that's a whole nother story. But Judge Huggable is trying to figure out why we're upset that she came. Judge Huggable is trying to figure out why we're upset she came off the bench, because we ain't never really seen one come off the bench, especially not in some slides, some flip flops. Okay, we like, dang, that's what they have on up under there. I know it's dryer buzz. Y'all know we noticed them gold flip flops. Come on now, okay, designer flip flops that she had on under that robe. Okay, and so but we just had never seen the judge come down and mingle. I'm like, where's all this mingling time? I mean, I don't even know if they had entered sentencing. We don't even know. We just never seen who's mingling in the courtroom. Since when is the convicted not taken immediately? Out the door. Oh wait, there was the whole hug fest. The hug fest. Judge Huggable. I forgot there was a hug fest, exchanging of the Bible. Okay, so here's my thing. What they swearing on? They had to go get another new Bible to swear on. I'm like, wait, the judge got a Bible up there? I mean, I know they asked you to put your hand on the Bible and swear, and some people are like, no, that ain't what we do. But I'm gonna tell the truth. Because I thought we were separated, church state and all this kind of stuff, right? But you do swear to something that you about to tell the truth. And she done gave the Bible on the homegirl going on up in the prison and all that kind of stuff. I wonder how many of, when she got on the bus going over to the prison, she got on there with a whole bunch of other women, right? They looking at her like, they let you go with the Bible? I thought we weren't supposed to take that with us. Because I would have loved to take my grandma good Bible up in there, right? I'm just saying. See, again, did we stop? Did we go? Because I mean, y'all, they got to have a case of Bibles around there somewhere. Can we go get? Did all of them leave the court? Because several people left the courtroom, especially in Texas. Several people left courts that day going on off. Like I'm just saying. But we've never seen. We haven't seen the image of this hug fest happening after a conviction. I've only seen. Well, we do see a family member go over there and try to snatch somebody up. We see that. But the judge, they said, all rise, and the judge, nobody moves till the judge leave out, because usually after rendering such convictions, the judge needs to be protected, especially but this one is in with the police, so I guess she good. I guess she good. She was able to do a hug fest, and now she's able to go from news station to news station, television station, magazine. She's been on all the talk shows, the makeup and all that stuff done, and she's been able to try to say, black people done lost their mind. They out there mad because I done hugged this white woman. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Right? You hugged a descendant of a benefactor. It's like that don't hit right with. That hits all hella wrong. Because what we've normally seen in cases where people are innocent. I'm comparing this to cases where people are innocent. We see the judge go through one door and the defendant goes through the next. And for many of those people, we don't see them innocent. And we're talking about innocent people. I ain't even talking about Lapuga them and all them that's running around here doing all kind of stuff. I ain't even talking about them. We see innocent people go through that door and not come back for decades. And still and having to prove that kind of stuff. And then they still don't even get a hug. You think the judge, I'm so sorry. No, when they go back and ask those judges, like, what happened in this case? And the judge, and most of the judges, especially the prosecutors, who are to this day are not trained to defend black life, to prosecute for black life. They prosecute against black life, but they have not been able. We saw it in the Trayvon Martin case. It's like this man does not know how to put value on Trayvon's life. We've seen it time and time again that prosecutions, help me out. Give me lawyers. Come on, I'm a lawyer, friends. That they do not know how to prosecute loss of black life. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to place enough value on that life. And Judge Huggable ain't helped none, right? And I mean, wrongfully convicted. We're talking about wrong. We have not seen the wrongfully convicted person get taken to Burger King. We have not seen the wrongfully convicted person been given a Bible so they can go find forgiveness and forgive the state and all this, and the state, well, I guess the state and the country, because some of that stuff makes it on to the, and then too, we don't know that she was handcuffed and taken off because she has options to appeal. There's appeal process out there on this thing. So, we don't even know. I still can't. Show me the picture where she was placed in handcuffs and taken on. I need to see her go through that door Give me that video. I need to Judge Huggable, Buzz it or bash it. Let's move on. Let's move on because we just spent 40 minutes on this thing, but rightfully so. And we only supposed to be on about 45, the time it takes to sit up under the dryer. But let's talk about some other things. Let's talk about of course, wrapping up this week is everybody is awesome and amazing and breaking the internet with the exciting news for Tyler Perry. And let me tell y'all something. And I'm going to be that blogger here. I'm going to be that blogger. Let me tell y'all. Tyler Perry opened Tyler Perry Studios some time ago. Tyler Perry and Tyler, okay, well, unfortunately, the mayor, at the time Tyler Perry purchased the property, the mayor of Atlanta was Kasim Reed, and don't nobody trust Kasim Reed for nothing. And so, therefore, there's a dark cloud over Tyler Perry Studios, thinking that he received some kind of preference, like, oh, he was a benefactor, as much benefactoring is going on around here. Oh, you mean that he might have been a benefactor or something? But Tyler Perry was like, look, I paid money like everybody else. I went through the processes. I can't help it based on the people that y'all voted for. So, there's always going to be a dark cloud and suspect on how the deal went. But the brother has been doing this doggone thing over there at the former Fort McPherson. I grew up just outside those gates. My childhood home was just outside those gates. So it does my heart good. It especially does anybody who drove down 166 or Campbellton Road and seeing those signs saying Tyler Perry Studios. Not only that, if you're in Atlanta or have been in Atlanta for any amount of time, you have seen Tyler Perry go from stage to screen. Some of y'all running to the brother around here. Everybody trying right now to go put their Tyler Perry layaways, thinking he gonna go back to Walmart. He might go to Target this year. I don't know. Tyler Perry, can you let everybody know where the blessing coming from? Because people out there trying to put up the layaways because Tyler Perry will go last year going paying the layaways and all that kind of stuff. But such an amazing celebration. Red carpet. He opened the studio. The studio has been there and been in operation for some time. There are a number of films that have been filmed there. Even some of the Tyler Perry films, I think his last few films were filmed there on the base. But now the construction that was taking place is done of the sound stages, the back lot. And if you've ever been to, I know a lot of y'all have been to Universal Studios, but if you've ever been to Hollywood in and of itself, there's studios that are in Hollywood that you can go and take a tour. So if you've been to any of those, Universal Studios, which is basically a theme park, not necessarily, it's a theme park, but if you've been to Hollywood, to the actual studios and taken tours and so forth, sound stages. Now Tyler Perry is said to have built the largest, outdone everybody, but it kind of find out. I think it didn't say 300 million. It said like $30 million to get this portion of, not the entire base, but the portion of the base that he had. I think it said it was like $30 million. Y'all already, it's not even noon yet. Y'all done spent $50 million already up in the beauty supply. I'm just saying. Y'all know they going on with $50 million over the weekend, right? All of them, okay? So I'm just saying. Imagine if you had the priority to do something that was going to last forever as opposed to that immediate gratification. That's shots fired. But anyway, so the studio, it was complete, and everybody was invited down to the studios. Oprah and Gail, whom he has, what's the word? Wowed and wooed from the beginning of their friendship. He started out buying them. Went on Oprah. He bought them some cars, and he is wild and wooed. They had become friends. Let me tell y'all, successful people have nothing in common until they become successful. Tyler was becoming successful. Oprah's like, what's going on over there? What's going on with that audience? And they have somewhat developed a bond and a friendship. I mean, I just thought it was a nice move, Tyler. But anyway, the studio opened, and Tyler had everybody there. We got to see on 50 Cent's timeline what the invitation looked like. It was he sent a daggone, it's just awesome niceties. And of course, the funny part was he learned from Oprah. How do you throw a party? How do you throw an event? And many people around Atlanta that we know went and got and told us everything that happened at the red carpet, some of the things that they can't say, and how mums was the word, and some of the things that we've heard about that went on down there, and all kind of stuff. And I'll talk about that. But first and foremost, we have to congratulate this. And if you want to know, I share for Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday, and I'm gonna keep on sharing it. An interview that I got a chance to do with Tyler Perry. I was like, wait a minute, I have something in the archives. Let's go find it. And I went back and I found the interview that I did with Tyler Perry upon his second movie. He was moving from stage to screen and experiencing Hollywood, trying to pitch, his ideas and his very successful films to Hollywood, and they were just not having it. Because remember, we talk about the fact that even to this day, Tyler, as far as distribution is concerned, now let me tell you, anybody can go make a movie. Everybody can go make a movie, and then everybody can buy and build a studio. But still, that distribution, that's somebody's got a hold on that distribution, which is why you see Tyler Perry over the years have done different distribution deals. Like, he did distributing his DVD, his videos, and then DVDs through big box stores, because that's, you get the upfront money. They worry about the sales. A movie, you hadn't really heard about a movie. The movies were coming, like he does a Halloween movie now. His goal then, at that time when he and I talked, he wanted a movie in the theater every February. Now, I got a chance to listen to this, and I decided to play it, so it's back out there. Go to dryerbuzz.com, find the channel if you want to watch it on YouTube, if you want to watch it on whatever the platforms, Buzz it or Bash it. But it tells you a lot, and you can hear the makings of a studio. It was, literally, this was his second movie was out, and that was the movie with Blair Underwood and Medea's Family Reunion. And I always thought that movie was mistitled, because every time I go to look for the movie to try to watch it, I forget that it was about the family reunion. Because it was so much, you know how Tyler movies are. It's like so much going on. It's like, what was it? Medea shot, Medea did this, Medea did that. We don't know, right? And so every time I try to go find the movie, I'm like, I forget, because it has so many characters in it. And of course, as always, so many storylines. That was a movie also with Kiki. And Kiki was in that movie. Remember, she was, so you never know what to look for. So, but the movie was called Medea's Family Reunion. It was the one with Blair Underwood, where he was abusing the bride to be. And you had the narcissist mother-in-law to be and all that kind of stuff. And Medea, it was the movie where Medea told the girl to throw the hot grits. Tyler be doing too much. But I got a chance to sit down with him at that movie back when they used to do these really wonderful things of, you really got a chance to do a really good interview with the directors and actors, as opposed to now today, they just invite you to lunch, and you gotta it's too much. I don't even bother about going. Or you go to the premiere and then they do an after talk, but you don't really get like a one-on-one. You don't really get an exclusive. So I'm like, even in this interview, if you listen to this interview, I was in a room with other publications. I'm like, they didn't really know how to. They want to ask some questions so you can really see. I kind of took over. But I knew what I had to get. I'm like, I need my questions. I need my answers. This man's going somewhere. This man's gonna beat somebody, And they were like asking these questions, like, I'm like, dude, listen, go check the interview out. It's out there, but you do get a chance to hear. And it's funny because there's some things that he mentioned back then that he was already. Did you know that 12 years ago, Tyler was trying to retire Medea? When he went to Scream, Tyler was trying to leave Medea on stage. He really had not planned on all these Medea movies. He wanted to act himself. And he talked about this role. And I don't think he ever did, this jazz singer he wanted to play. Because he ended up playing, I think he ended up doing the detective movie. He really, if you go listen, because he talked about it, and I asked him, and I said, he talked about how the audience won't let her go. Because he really wanted to, Medea was going to be staged, breaking into Hollywood was going to be something different, particularly because of the whole controversy around the man in the dress and the men feeling like it was emasculating. And, there was just conflict all over in early beginnings of this thing of black men making movies. And, at the time there was Spike, and if you saw in the coverage of the opening of the studio, there was a kind of a truce he immortalized Spike by giving Spike a soundstage. And I heard I heard that there was a mishap in christening the soundstage. Now you know when there's a mishap of christening ships, when the champagne doesn't break right on the ship, they said the ship might sink and go down. So hopefully there was a collaboration. One thing, and something we've talked about through covering film and television, is it's always sad that when we look at the number of brothers who are trying to break ground, who are breaking ground, let me say this, who are breaking ground, who are busting open box offices, is that they don't have projects together, and that we are often sold, by not being the benefactors, we are often sold this idea that we can only have one and one at a time. Like when the awards go down, oh, we not gonna have like three or four black films because oh, they only represent a certain population. But hell, did they entertain everybody or no? Because I mean, I'm looking around here, everybody seems to be quietly entertained. So what's wrong with all the brother films being up there, right? Because that seems to be the one that, I mean, the box office don't lie. But then they didn't. Now they said, well, don't really go by the box. Oh, so don't go by the box office no more, so because we won all the box office, right? I'm just saying, go and look. That's something we do. Box Office Mojo, Internet Movie Database, IMDb. Get the pro versions of these things. Don't try to just get the little information they put out there for free. Go get the pro version so you can really arm yourself with the facts of what's being reported. And one of the reasons we follow movies this close is because we often try to tell a community when communities feel like they can't raise money for the schools to bring the schools up to par and stop waiting on the tax dollars. And we go to a community, you can go on box office, you can go and see by zip code how much people spend on a movie. And then when you go to a community and say, listen, y'all spent $10 million going to see this movie. Y'all got $10 million. They want to know, well, where we got $10 million? You got $10 million by $11 a household. If you go, that high school y'all got sitting there down the street from that movie theater, instead of going, at the same time, I'm not saying instead of, that when you go put 11, 12, 15, $20 in the movie theater per person, go over there and match it over there with that school. They take money. They don't just operate off of the school budget, because you better know they're not even sending all the budget over there. So go over there to that school and match what you spend over here, this movie theater. Then at the same time that movie makes $10 million, now the school got $10 million. But we don't have, yes you do, you got it. You got it. Okay, because the movie, you only going to the movie like what, once a month, or every if you only see black movies, you're only going every 4 months. But if you go over to the school, which is over there every day, give them $10 million, then they get to take kids on field trips, because that's not in the budget. They get to have art projects, because that's not in the budget. They get to invite in scholars to come in, scholars from all over the world. Scholars from all over the world to talk to these kids and to show them what the world is. That's not in everything that's not in the budget. Everything that these principals are having to cut out of the budget, including half the books, if not all of them, half the food, if not all of it. Okay, these people in these lunchrooms are running around from school to school to school trying to put together meals for these students because of these. And the school systems have bigger budgets than the cities. But if only the benefactors are demanding benefits, because that's the first problem right there. Buzz it or bash it. We're not even demanding the benefit. Okay, we're benefactors too, but we're not even out here demanding the freaking benefit. And that's what we're talking about. That's why we're so mad at Judge Huggable. Right? It's like okay, it's girl, hug as many people, if whatever you got to do to go home and sleep at night. If you got to go hug the convicts, then hug the convicts. But at the same time, it's like, help, if you want to help us understand something rather than talk about us being mad, you got counterparts yourself that's convicting wrong, that's out there wrongfully convicting, that's over sentencing, right? But y'all not having those conversations. So anyway. So match those. So anyway, back to the movie. But it was awesome and amazing to see all these people. What I loved about the fact that is Tyler sent invitations to some of the very same people who over the years, who he had not provided a job, he invited the very same people that kept up the narrative that his work was absolute buffoonery. That word buffoonery being tied to Tyler Perry, some of those people ended up with sound stages. He changed their mind. He changed their minds because they fed into this narrative that we have to be divided. And so, and that even in the entertainment, even in the film industry, it went on. And so I love that. And in fact, he talked about that in several, because everybody was like, dude, you got Spike. Now let me tell y'all know I love me some Spike Lee. All right. And I like me some Tyler Perry. But I was like, okay, whoa. I remember when I understood, finally understood both of them, I'm like, man, if y'all don't see this, I don't. There was a year that both of them decided to go ahead and go on to the Oscars. Let me tell you, this is how this forgiveness narrative will do you. Okay, there was one year, I think it was either after Oscar So White or before Oscar So White, and Tyler Perry was like, to hell with them, okay, because they did them wrong, y'all. They did both of them. They could somehow convince both Tyler Perry and Spike Lee, because Spike Lee has always forever boycotted the Oscars, right? But the year prior to what was it? For Color Girls, I think that was the For Color Girls was coming out because it wasn't nominated that year. But Tyler was either finishing up For Color Girls. Well, Tyler does a movie in a week, so For Color Girls was either going to be released in time enough to be considered for the next year's Oscar, and Spike, of course, has his movie, and so they can somehow convince Spike to give up his boycott, come to the Oscars. I don't know if he presented as well, but Tyler was a presenter. And it shook up the world for those who are consciously looking at things. Everybody was like, oh, no, wait a minute. They done convinced both of these brothers. And I think maybe they had Samuel L. Jackson talk to both of them. Because, Samuel L. Jackson was pro-Oscars. He was, because he's the only black man that, other than a couple of them, that was voted on he was a member of the Academy. He's a member of the Academy. And Samuel L. Jackson was the go-to. Anytime somebody would say something bad about the Oscars, they'd go get a statement everybody run on and put a camera in Samuel L. Jackson's face. And, and he'd say, y'all should feel like this. Don't be mad at this and don't be mad at that. All this copacetic, the black man's doing well in Hollywood and, and all this kind of stuff. I got another motherfucking movie coming out, da 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 da. Sorry. It slipped. I'm mofo this and mofo that. So I don't know. Maybe they sent Sammy to go talk to Spike and Sammy to go talk to Tyler. So this particular year, both of them were there. I'll never forget. I think Tyler had on a white jacket. He was up there. He was presenting. And I'm sitting there going like, thinking, brother, they're going to do you wrong. They're going to do you wrong. But, and they presented with the idea that you ain't going to tell me that they didn't go knowing that their movies would get nominations the next year and possibly win. For Color Girls should be Oscar winning. It should have an Oscar. Okay? Whether Tyler Perry did it or not. That was some acting up in there. Okay? Whew. I'm exhausted just thinking about, and not only that, it was a remake. So in and of itself, oh my God, just the weight of that movie in and of itself, all of those women, the ensemble, the costuming, should have the songs, the soundtrack. I don't know, do we even listen to that? I don't know, you might not want to listen to that soundtrack. For Color Girls who've considered suicide when the rainbow is enough every day. It's like, wait a minute, the rainbow is enough, but damn, this shit still hurts like hell. It's hard to breathe. Okay, I'm saying I had one of those days this week. It's like, you got a beautiful rainbow, but you don't understand what's under that rainbow, what it takes to get to that rainbow. You don't understand how far away that rainbow is. I see it. It's not a pot of gold down there. And even if it's a pot of gold, you don't want to know what's around that gold. You don't want to know what's traded for that gold. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. You want my life? Take it. Him. You can have all of it. All the fame. Everybody know your name. Can't even sit back and chill. Oh, take it all. Anyway. But let me just tell y'all. So they went, and I was like, I still don't trust it. And then the very next year, they were both snubbed. So The sad part about it, as amazing as this weekend, how beautiful all these black people. Let me tell y'all, I don't know not name one of them on that red carpet that can distribute a movie. I don't know not name one. And that's what. And listen, the name of my company is called Distributions because distribution is so vitally important. Yes, Oprah has a network, so you can put stuff on the network. So okay, Oprah has made it through on that. But Oprah's got a partnership thing going on over there. Tyler has done a distribution deal with Black Entertainment Television. So please make sure, and they probably sitting over there like, dang, these people going to subscribe or what? Go over there and subscribe. Um, Make it one of your streaming apps. I think you have to make it on all your smart devices, on your phones and all these kind of things. And download or subscribe, become a member. It's a membership where you're gonna get all of Tyler Perry's content, and he's knocking out so many shows. I don't even know how many it is. I know there's everything. There's one called Sisters. There's one called This Oval. Now the one of the commercials came out with Oval, and everybody went like, "Ooh, what is this?" So they need to run some more commercials on that. It looks to be it looks to be a Scandal knockoff, and Tyler will knock off some stuff now. Tyler was still a scene. I mean, I've been blogging about Tyler now, y'all, for 12 years. I told y'all 12 years since he made his second movie. I wasn't. I'm sorry, I wasn't blogging about what is it, Mad Black Woman and the plays. Okay, I told you I went to the plays and damn near I was almost assaulted. I'm like, I think this man rubbing on my leg. with his girl in between us. I'm like, yeah. It was like, what that audience? I'm like, who are you guys? I'm like, oh no, what is going on here? Girl, I think, dude, that's not her leg. That's my leg. Like, it was strange. It was strange. The play was awesome. But the whole time I was like, wait a minute, what? Who am I sitting by? Cause y'all know me. I went by myself, and I'm like, I didn't have a whole row of girlfriends and nothing like that. I'm like, it's weird up in here. Okay, it's just weird. But anyway, I just wasn't. I love theater and thespians and no shots fired. I'm just saying I had to get used to the whole. Okay, what is it? Oh, we gonna talk back to the play. And that was quite fun. I was like, wait, because I wish we could do that at some of the highfalutin, high society theater. I wish we could react like that to some of the, because sometimes some of the plays get good, right? But people be sitting there all stiff. I'm like, I gotta come see this in the matinee. See, that's why I like to go to the matinee, because the matinee you can be a little bit more relaxed and really laugh and enjoy yourself. I ain't trying to go to opening night where everybody be all stiff and all this, that, and the other. Oh my God, y'all should see what go on in some of these things. That's why I like a Step Stewart production, because he likes the community to get involved. But some of these other plays, they be like, damn, y'all gonna laugh? That shit was funny, But anyway, so anyway. Y'all don't understand how far I go back on these things. And so anyway, where are we? Let me get out of here, because we got one more. I think I had one more. Judge Huggable, Tyler Perry. What else? It was one more on there. But congratulations to opening of the studios. Lots going on that red carpet. The only thing I'm saddened by is the fact that with all of those people on that carpet, besides those who have joined Tyler Perry in his work, were the number of people that are not in the credits together. They have not done projects together or projects with and for each other. Let me go on here. I'm just trying to see what I had a third topic, and so hopefully now that the studios are done, they've already been there. I'm going to go check out the tour. I definitely want to take a tour. Oh, this was my only other thing. I'm like, wait a minute. Whose voice was that? Why wasn't Medea narrating that tram ride? I want to go on a tour with Medea. And did we see? Oh, I didn't see Medea on the carpet. Like, okay, Tyler, you done been on the carpet. Can you go get Medea? Can we get some Medea on this carpet? Like, and I understand, if you keep in mind now, 12 years ago, Tyler was ready to retire Medea. And he ended up in, I'm sorry, but Medea was pretty much a large part of his Lionsgate deal and any other deals. But since he went on, put shows on OWN, Medea wasn't there. Like, why isn't there a Medea sitcom? We've had all these other sitcoms. Why is there not? Understand. Well, here's why there's not a Medea sitcom. And Tyler told us this 12 years ago. because in order for Medea to do all these other projects, as a dog comes in, get ready to lap up all kind of water on my podcast. But the reason Medea doesn't have all this other stuff because Medea and Tyler are the same person. Yes, we do forget that. Yes, we do. I'm like, oh, Tyler's on the carpet. Like, where's Medea? Then I'm like, oh, wait, damn. Okay, but I still think he should have done some Medea. I think Medea should have been all up in the invitation. I think Medea should have been everywhere. And I was heartbroken. I think I was. I think I can call it heartbreak when I'm watching the video. Ava's video being on that tram went everywhere, and I'm hearing this voice of this benefactor's voice again. More benefits for the benefactors down to the studio at least. I'm like, why is Medea not narrating this tram ride and all the voices? Why is Medea not every voice on there unless it's a male voice? I'm like, dude, get your behind in the studio and record Medea narrating this thing. That was foul. That was just foul. Okay. Natural hair on air. Okay, that was the last one. So we can wrap up. We talked about Judge Huggable. We talked about Tyler Perry, mainly just to tell y'all to go and check out an interview that we did with Tyler Perry. 12 years, more than 12, because I think 12 was me replaying it. So it had to be, I think it was like 2000. Well, about 2007, so that would have been about 12 years. And YouTube, I think when I looked it up, it did say it was about, but even 12 years, I was playing it as a best of. So I think it might have been prior to that, well, a little bit more than a decade. But this interview with Tyler Perry, where you do really get to hear the makings of a mogul, the makings of a movie mogul, the makings of a studio. And in fact, at the end of the interview, after talking about all that he wanted to do and wanted to become, I literally said to him, okay, where is the Tyler Perry store? You know, I wish I should have said studio. Man, can you imagine if I had said, where's the Tyler Perry studio, right? 12 years ago. But I remember saying to him at the end, okay, because he talked about all of these things that he was doing and wanted to do. And even at that time, Tyler Perry had his own network, like Facebook at that time, which was TribeTylerPerry.com. When you went on TylerPerry.com, everything that you're doing over here on Facebook, you did on TylerPerry.com, because back in the day, everybody had their own network. You didn't have to go to these top 8 platforms with these top 8 billionaires. He could have been a billionaire much sooner if he'd have kept. And I think I don't know. But if he still has it, because if you wanted to engage in Tyler Perry, you go over there on Tyler Perry Network, and he was there in the chat room answering questions, telling you about go watch this and making of that and all that. So he's always been a pioneer in that sense. But what do we do with our pioneers when they do things that we have not yet seen before? We persecute them. And so here he probably expects to be persecuted a little because black man got a studio. And I'm like, why we got it? It is a thing. It is a thing. So awesome and amazing, something awesome to celebrate. And not only that, to know that the studio is just mere yards from where I grew up, because I remember growing up outside that base, hearing Reveille in the morning, taps at night, watching people go through those gates and watching the evolution of that base, because we moved as part of the integration into that neighborhood in 1969, and it was a horrendous thing to do because of the tension between black and white that went on there. And I was 3 years old, and I can remember some of those moments of moving into that neighborhood and dealing with the benefactors who thought we were getting too much of the benefits, and the things that in the evolution of the neighborhood as well as the evolution of the base, because the wall wasn't there, it was just a fence. And you could see on the side where I lived was the golf course. There were a lot of retired military there. And at that time, in the 60s and 70s, retired military, you got to know, was all white, right? All white, okay? So you watching them, you can see the houses that Tyler now owns. You can see the golf course. I don't know if Tyler owns the golf course. Is the golf course part of his acreage or part of his other acreage? But I know when they filmed the movie with Tiffany Haddish, where Whoopi Goldberg was in the window, that was one of those homes that the 1960s military people used to live in and used to watch them live on this acreage and with these golf courses. Now, but mind you, this was our military, so you still had respect for that. But we had the respect that we had for it was knowing that we about to change all that. Like we knew because it was the time of integration, and so integration happened both outside that gate as well as inside that gate as more black officers came to the south and came to the base to the point where my own cousin, when they closed that base, she was one of the ones to not only work in closing that base, but retired from that base. So, yes, we love the fact that Tyler Perry, and not only that, the other acreage is now being bought and getting ready to be developed, or it's still up for discussion. So I think if you want to have some thought in participating in who ends up with the other parts, I think Tyler probably wants more of it. And there's another gentleman that was on the radio this week that he wants part of it, and some other things. So if you want to, and these are things that they happen in the community. You get to decide that. You've already decided based on who you voted for last, because that's who's negotiating this. But you still get to have some input on how they are negotiating. That's why we tell you all the time, you can't just vote and think that these people are out there handling this stuff, because a lot of times they get elected and go the whole entire other way. They run Democrat, but they might be a whole hell of a lot conservative. They might run Republican, it might be a whole hell of a lot liberal. That's why you don't just vote. You make sure that you get the right people on the ballot, you get the right people into the election, you get the right people into office, and you continue to be vocal to them. Here's why you were elected, because guess what? They very soon forget. They easily forget why and who elected them and so forth. All right, and Hillary's over there trying to get ideas. So email her, tweet her, and all that kind of stuff. Hillary is trying to get some ideas, trying to act like Trump is taunting her to get in the race. Girl, Trump ain't trying to put you in the race. Go sit down somewhere, you and your daughter. Damn Clintons get on my nerve. Ooh! Anyway, don't get me on that, because I got to talk about this. I got to get this in, because we are Dryer Buzz, and we're about an hour and 11 into the podcast. Last topic, and let me just check on, oh my God, I got to check some of these comments. Thank you guys so much if you that went out and found the channel. If you want to find a channel to catch us live so that you can engage, go to dryerbuzz.com. Before I get to the last topic, let me jump on here and grab some of these comments and say hello to those that are watching. Laura Womack, Zach is up there. Laura's on the West Coast. Zach is out there in Chicago. Leonard is right here. No, I would say Leonard is in Atlanta, but he lives in one of them rural areas way outside the perimeter. Just be mad and admit that that's who you are. I saw people hating on Tyler. It's called negotiating, an awesome deal. When we going to stop hating black people winning? Broke people have tendency to congregate as well. I wish I could dream that way. And Zach has interjected one of our often quoted things about haters, highly attracted to errors regarding success. Dryer Bus 2012, and that is to say that Tyler made some errors and that attracted some haters. Stop comparing yourselves to people. Success is measured on all scales, says Zach. Let's see, that's like a puppy trying to race greyhounds. Win where you are and move to the next level. Everybody can't be a millionaire. The U.S. economy only prints so much money. That's Zach still talking. Zach says, then my success is being a teacher aide, former substitute Chicago, a former Huffington Post blogger, and public access TV producer who helps black folks thrive locally. You got to crawl before you walk. Everybody wants to be a microwave millionaire instead of a seasoned success. Linda Elect Lady Hillman, a politician, has jumped on here saying also hello from California. Let me see if I got everybody. All right, now that's just on one channel, and y'all know we are out here on some of the others. Unfortunately, if I open Periscope at this time, I won't see the comments, but definitely I will go back and tweet me. And when we end the podcast, the conversation, I will jump. Good morning. I will jump in, and they got a little bit of delay, so they're going to hear me hear their comments here in just a moment. But we are live recording this. If you catch this in the podcast, we do record them live. I podcast every day, y'all. Monday through Friday, I will do How to Get Out of Bed. Saturdays, it becomes Buzz It or Bash It. and then, or actually, and then Sunday we go back to how to Sunday through Friday is how to get out of bed. Saturday is Buzz It or Bash It. Tuesday we do a special podcast called Leading Women Podcast where we narrow all this stuff down as it relates to women and try to join each other at the womb. Now I know people gonna get upset. Wait, all women don't have a womb. Understand? I understand. This is a conversation we're gonna have. As our transgender, there was some backlash and some lashback recently, and I'm trying to get I'm trying to get. She stars on Pose, follows me on Twitter, and has taken a break from social media. But we're trying to get her on to talk about what is now a perception between something going on between women and transgender, that particularly black women and black trans, that that the conversation of supporting each other is dismissive of the fact that we do support each other. But when I say join each other at the womb, I'm grabbing hold of something from Pearl Clegg. Maybe we can get Pearl on to talk about that. Maybe Pearl is the perfect person to facilitate the conversation, because Pearl says join each other at the womb, but then we have women who don't have wombs. Now we have to have that conversation because they are feeling like when we talk about supporting women, that the conversation is dismissive of supporting them and how much they support women. And it's another cis women, put it that way. Okay, so there's a rift now between trans women and cis women. And cis women are trying to figure out, cis women are going around, Heifer, what do you call me? What are you calling me? Y'all, it's a beautiful, and I don't say that to be mean, it's a beautiful, we're in the salon right now. And cis women are trying to figure out, wait, when do we get alphabets, right? And so cis women are trying to figure out, well, what does cis mean? It just means that you live a life as subscribed by your genitalia, your womb. You have a womb, so therefore you live a life as a woman. And the conversation gets so, and this is what even Buzz It or Bash It, but the conversation gets so crazy because people who get high profile in this discussion, some men have taken it a whole other place, and it's like, can y'all just hush for a minute and let us have a conversation? Because what happened was a black woman, the gay community and all their alphabets, I call them queer plus, and they're gonna get mad at that. I don't care. Let me just tell, and I do care, but it's like y'all keep adding on alphabets because y'all are over there discriminating against each other. And we just know one thing, queer plus. But what happened was the queer plus community felt mistreated recently by somebody high profile, and a black woman said, oh, y'all want us to get mad at this when we are victims of this same thing too. Well, a trans woman thought her saying that the gay community doesn't support black women and what we're going through, she said that conversation was dismissive of black trans women. And while the women, regardless of whether they got a wound or not, were trying to have a conversation, some men took it and ran with it and made it worse for the women to even have the discussion. So I am open to moderating, facilitating, letting this thing happen as I have done always and forever. And we don't mind bringing that conversation to leading women, because I continue to say, and I feel some kind of way when I say it, but you got to understand, 20 years ago, since 1992, I started a forum conducive to our uniqueness that was called Let's Sit Down and Join Each Other at the Womb, meaning that it is because we have a womb, and those of us cis women, we have some experiences because we're women. But the only thing that we all could say we had in common beyond our race and nationality was the fact that we had a womb. Well, now we have trans women more so than ever visibly, and I'm just saying particularly visibly, that feel like, well, outwardly I look like you, so I'm experiencing some of those things too. So now I can't say let's join each other in the womb, so we got to figure this thing out. But I don't want to throw a whole bunch of alphabets at it. If we're gonna be women, we're gonna be women, because the whole nature of you changing, trans, you look. If the whole nature of you looking like a woman is, I'm supposed to assume that you're a woman. I'm supposed to treat you as my sister, okay? But one of the reasons we're doing Leading Women podcast is women are. There's so many things that are dividing us. It's like, wait a minute, are we women or are we women? Oh, but you're this woman, this kind of woman, that kind of woman. I'm like, it ain't but 26 alphabets. We're gonna be using some damn Roman numerals in a minute. Cis squared, cis this, that, and the other, because I got a heart of a woman and a womb of a woman. Now I'm cis squared because I subscribe to be a woman. And I'm like, my sexuality is hetero. And I'm like, so now you want to call me a hetero cis woman? I'm like, God doggone it. I can't keep up with all this stuff. But I will tell you this. If somebody's coming at you, I'll jump in. I ain't got no problem jumping in. And when I jump in, all that other stuff, it ain't even going to matter. Because I'm going to jump in simply because somebody's treating you wrong. But let me get back on topic. I need to get you my book for review. How do I do that? Go in the inbox. There is the email and the phone number. Hit me off. Definitely send the books. We do the books when we do it in the kitchen. We try to pair up a good book with a good meal. So definitely send me that. But let me get back to the last topic so we can get ready to get out of here. Hour and a half. And let me tell y'all, I have been in the barbershop. Sometimes it take an hour and a half. Some of y'all be in the barber chair. I'm like, dude, she finished. Come on, go. But we love hanging out in the salon because we can take off our masks. We can have these kind of conversations. Let me tell you, I don't know anybody else trying to have these conversations with y'all. And they always tell me, like, even especially when I go, I do radio with a couple of shows, and they like, okay, we can say this, and we can say that, or they bring me on because they know, well, if she said, and those kinds of things. So we can damn sure say it here on the podcast. And I don't mean to drop 4-letter words and make you have to grab your earphones. But the last topic I want to talk about on here is natural hair on air. It is so funny because I have these sensories that go off about particular people. And when my sensory, the buzz sensory, goes off about a person, I may think it's about this, but it's actually about that. Recently, let me go back to the page and let me get this, because this had us trolling. I started trolling because my sensories went off about this particular anchor woman on NBC. Lo and behold, no, that was at the top, so it's got to be down here a little bit lower. Lo and behold, here she is. Her name is, I think it's Chanel. Every time I say Chanel, I want to start singing the, and her mama probably named her after, I don't know. But every time I say Chanel, I want to start singing the Laverne and Shirley song. But Chanel Jones is an anchor on the third hour of Today. Now that is, first of all, the third hour of Today is the most controversial hour of the day on the most controversial network right now, which is NBC. The reason why my algorithms took me over there is simply because of my kitchen episodes. Something I made in the kitchen and something Al Roker had in the kitchen. It decided, oh, you might need to follow Al Roker. And I'm like, well, what's going on with good old Al Roker? Al Roker, the little bubbly weatherman, now one of the greatest anchors out there. And I'm saying that knowing that he ain't yet had a Me Too moment. Okay. And so I started following Al. And then all of a sudden, Al had this hip replacement. And he was talking about, I can't wait to go back to the third hour of Today. And I'm like, and my mindset went like, oh, yeah, Tamron was supposed to have the third hour. So they got a bunch of replacement people over there. And Tamron, and I hope you guys are watching the Tamron Hall show, is now airing on ABC Networks. And it's an afternoon show about 3 o'clock. And it's really good. It still has kind of an infomercial look to it. It's too damn bright for one thing, but she has some amazing segments and her journalism skills come through. I mean, come through parting waters like the Red Sea. And really good conversations. She's got Sunny from The View on there as a legal commentator coming on, as well as a number of other people. And so really good segments. She also is connecting with, she brings people on from online on there. And I haven't had a lot of opportunity. I try to keep the channel TV on that channel if I'm home to watch it or whatever. But I do catch some of the replays on the online. And listen, don't sleep on watching folks stuff online, because those numbers matters as much as Nielsen ratings, if not more so. Because all these people, you see them coming online trying to do this social media. Lord, poor Gary with the T was trying to do one the other day. Yesterday, I shared it, y'all. Apparently, they done told Gary, get your numbers up. Gary was over there doing one live. So all of Will Smith went and hired a very expensive social media team to get his numbers up. He'll be 1 year on social media. I think this December. I think he came online in December. And Will has a goal of having the most, and he needs to get the most so he can have some better negotiations, because his negotiations are slipping. His numbers are slipping. His Forbes list lineup is slipping. And Will had a couple of projects out that were very dependent upon social media. Aladdin did well with his social media audience, but he has some projects that are coming. He has a movie out this weekend. Ain't nobody talking about it, but he has a movie out. So Will, you need to get your folks out there. I might go see. I think we're gonna hit up the drive-in. I gotta get ready to head out here too. I think we're gonna hit up the drive-in this weekend. Maybe if not this weekend, maybe Tuesday. Will has a movie out this weekend. Right, that's called Crickets. He has a movie out this weekend. I think everybody's going to see Dolomite, but he has a movie. So he's got Eddie, and that's what I'm saying. Go see all of them. In fact, go over there, go to the drive-in where you can see a nice double feature of first run movies, okay? And I got to pitch them, so don't go yet. Let me pitch them so I can have some negotiation skills, some good negotiation. But anyway, I was following Al, and I started checking out the third hour. But this person, Chanel, when Al returned to the air, I noticed Chanel, she got some interesting body language. They have her sitting between Al and the other gentleman. You know, they took off Tamron and they put on Gretchen and all them, trying to replace, the sister. And now they got a four person ensemble on this third hour, which really should just be Al Roker. I don't know why. I mean, Al been on NBC. He ain't been fired yet. He ain't had a controversy yet. Hopefully ain't done none of the stuff that Matt did. I pray to God you didn't know what Matt had going on there, because we know these men, they love to boast to somebody. So Al, we hope that you was never in earshot or in the locker room or the dressing room, wherever y'all find it copacetic to speak in such terms about harming women. Al, I hope and pray that you never not gonna be called to testify in any of this stuff, because now I think they're trying to go at Matt Lauer about an actual rape that then turned into a relationship and so forth and so forth. So I just hope and pray that there's not going to be any more shakeup. But what got my sensibilities off is when Al returned, that this young lady Chanel, her body language is sitting in between these two men. Man, she is leaning. She ain't leaning in. She's leaning out like she about to damn near fall out of her chair. She doesn't look all that comfortable. She does not look all that comfortable, and I want to know what's going on. But maybe that's not the thing, because here comes this article, and I you know what? And I ain't just said that to y'all. I said it on the post. I'm like, they posted a picture. And I'm like, what's up with her body language? I saw this post and I turned on the television. I tried to watch the episode and I couldn't understand. I couldn't even get into it because her body language was like, help me, rescue me. And I went on that Instagram and I posted that. I'm like, I need answers. So, but anyway, here's what they are putting out there as her story. She done went and did an interview saying that they put out this headline. And even in the headline, she got bad body language. The girl looked terrified, y'all. No, on her Instagram, somewhere, I don't know where. So I went and grabbed her Instagram. Girl, what's going on? Talk to me. Chanel Jones, find somebody to talk to. Cause let me tell y'all know all the black people in media just came back only months from their convention where they go to this convention every year and let their hair down and pray and figure out how they're gonna survive another year in the industry, not being able to be themselves. In fact, one of the veterans sent me a photo. I don't know if he wanted me to post that or not. I didn't have permission. And I ain't like everybody else. I don't just throw a photo up. But he sent me this photo saying that all of the anchors was rocking their natural hair at the convention. And I said, send me that photo when they return, when they get back to work. Let me see how they are on air. So this headline came out about Chanel Jones this week that she is now trying to rock her natural hair on air on NBC. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, hold up. Why is that even a thing? Y'all got a full-on rapist up in there. And this woman, her fight is trying to go on air with natural hair. Sisters, let me tell y'all something. And mind you, listen to me or not, I ain't got your job. I ain't got your paycheck. Okay? But I'm just saying, let me tell y'all, one of my mentors in my head was the top writer at the New York Times. Okay? He was the top. Rest his soul. His vices finally took him out. Um, and they can say he died of natural causes, but you don't die of natural causes when you spend half your life in addiction. But he was the top writer. There's a documentary out there about the New York Times. Go check it out. And kind of find out. And I was like, I fell in love with his journalistic integrity and all this stuff. Hell, I used to like Charlie Rose. Now where is he? But anyway. I'm so afraid to run into what's your guy on CNN, the black guy. I can't even think, Lord, and I know his name. I can't even think of his name. Just my memory's gone. What's his name? Okay, somebody tell me what's his name. Well, I'm afraid to run into. He's like, damn, she don't know me. She talk about me so bad. She don't know my name no more. It happens. But anyway, I'm so afraid to run into him because I remember telling him he was so horrible on air. He needed to be more like Charlie Rose. And you know when I see him, he's gonna throw that in my face because Charlie Rose ended up being one of the biggest guys in the Me Too movement, out there harming women. So anyway, so Chanel is fighting, is trying to wear her natural hair on air on NBC. I'm gonna tell y'all, NBC, y'all need to let that go. Y'all need to just let that go. First of all these women should be able to walk in these studios in any kind of hair they want to, whether they want it down to the floor, whether they want a kiki coily curly, whether they want a TWA or whatever else. And listen, I never really blogged about hair. I blog about, you see the kind of topics we blog about. So I don't even know. T4, T2, whatever. So y'all always got to label all this stuff instead of just live and let live. Live and let live. You ain't got to label it. You ain't got to try to find a tribe. I'm so tired of trying to find a tribe out here. I don't even do the tribe thing. Don't even try to tribe up with me because I may flip. I may flip. First of all, we need to stop trying to find a tribe because that's how we end up in America, trying to stick with the tribe when you should have been somewhere trying to hide because they were trading tribes. You are a descendant right now because of the warring of the tribes. They was trading tribes, okay? I'm just saying. So therefore, stop trying to tribe up and just be you. Just be you. But the fact that y'all put out a headline, and I know y'all trying to find some reasons to make us want to watch third hour of the day, but y'all ain't gonna get us black women running over there trying to watch third hour of the day just because she done rolled up in her natural hair. That should be a natural thing. Especially when you trying to keep her from wearing natural hair. I'm trying to figure out why she won't lean into Al Roker. I'm trying to figure out why she won't lean in to the new dude. And he ain't new. He been around. And then why homegirl on the other end over there, the other sister from another mother, why she look like she leaning. It's like we see people, we see these things, and we want to know what's going on. So no, I don't want to talk about her hair. I want to talk about her leaning. I want to talk about what she's about to fall in. I want to talk about her awkward laughter. I want to talk about why this ensemble can't get through a banter session without it being all hell awkward and everybody, the eyes twitching all over the place. Did I say the right thing? Did you say the right thing? They're so traumatized. NBC, if y'all want to do anything, do a show where y'all bring everybody from the control room, everybody from whoever signing the checks, the camera people, everybody come on around, sit down, let's figure out what the hell been going on up around here in NBC. Is anybody else need to say anything? Y'all, we sent these folk over here to cover the doggone Olympics or whatever. Why is y'all, ladies, never, I don't care if you love the man. I don't care if you married to him. On your job, you don't go to his office. You don't. What did my girl tell y'all on Leading Women? It's called the Whisper Network. And don't let me get Angela on here. It's called the Whisper Network. That sister over there trying to tell you, no, that sister that not leaning in the aisle, she like, she don't. And Al, if you ain't done nothing, go look at the tape. She won't lean into you. Is she not leaning into you because you old school NBC? I'm not saying, because Al might have a good heart. He might be a good dude all the way. He might have not associated with all that was going on around there, because Al worked with a whole bunch of networks and got a whole bunch of shows and all this kind of stuff, But we know. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all might need to have just a discussion. Did she know? Did she know you? You might have to testify. Did you have to go do what that thing what they call a deposition? Maybe she seen you coming out of the deposition. I'm just saying, NBC, y'all need to figure out, because there's nobody watching y'all. We not watching. We ain't turning on that channel. My TV go past NBC so fast. I'm like, it's like, that ain't one of your favorites. Keep on scrolling. I'm like, I can't tell y'all. I'm like, and I can't stand The Voice. If there was a show that comes on after, This Is Us? Is it on NBC? It's something I like to watch that comes on after The Voice, and I feel like, damn, The Voice is on forever. It seems like The Voice is on every day. Does The Voice come on every day? I don't even know. I hate that show. Oh my God, how long? Let me tell y'all, that seems like the longest running, longest airing show. I think it is This Is Us is on NBC. I ain't seen that show on time yet. I got to go binge on it right now. Sometime. I got to get ready to get out of here. But NBC, y'all need to figure out what's going on. And I need for my girl trying to wear natural hair not to be a headline at the same time as your other anchor. And I didn't finish telling the New York Times thing. But I need for my girl trying to wear natural hair on air not to be a headline at the same time when your most prized anchor was an alleged rapist. Like, really? Like, he had a job over there harming all your women, and she got to figure out whether or not she got to press her hair to come to work. Stop it. What I was talking about with the guy at the New York Times, when I watched the documentary, because back in the day, at the times when newspapers were failing, newspapers were mad at other sites like Reddit and all these other sites that aggregate news stories and become more popular than newspapers. I saw this gentleman, and his name slips me too. I saw this gentleman, and I thought, like, wow. But then when I went to look into his background, kind of find out he had been a cocaine addict, that he had overdosed in seedy porn clubs, bars, that old school New York. He had been around old school New York, but at the time, I think like the war and all these leaks and all this stuff, he was in charge of all these different stories. He was like the number one guy up in this newspaper. And I'm like, he was a welfare queen. He had raised his kids on welfare. He, had gotten his education and had done, worked his way up from the bottom and had these stories that just propelled him to the absolute tops, And he was damn near half crippled from all the overdoses he had done, right? But again, he was a benefactor. He was a number one guy, if not number two, or the man next to the man, however you want it. It's like all his transgressions forgiven, and he was one of the top guys for the top section at the top newspaper. And here this sister is just trying to wear her natural hair on the third hour. That ain't nobody watching of the television, the filler hour, because they don't have a top show, so they run a third hour of news, and ain't nobody watching it. But she's sitting in the seat, want to like not have to transform her hair to look like the benefactors, and I'm like, that's your headline. That's the story. Y'all gonna let that be your story? It's like, she just came back from the National Association of Black Journalists and had to press her hair out and all that stuff they talked about while at the association. her change nothing? I'm just asking. In fact, I'm not. I'm telling NBC, y'all need to fix this thing, because y'all top anchor, it just went around and sold her television show to the competition. Y'all didn't even feel, even after having to fire top anchors that were on your network allegedly harming women. Y'all didn't even have the decency to go and apologize to this woman, to bring her back in her show, in the spot that she helped get you the viewers that you do have. People, we out here forgiving people that ain't asking for forgiveness. We are out here, and believe it or not, when Tamron, in her first show, she came on and she said, "Y'all, they trying to make me compete again. I will not compete with any other women. My show is on. Kelly's show is on. Let me tell you, honey, they done moved Kelly's show to morning. Okay, so you ain't even compete with Kelly. You the only one on still at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You ain't even compete with Kelly because she got the benefit of being moved to the morning. All right, on the same channel you're on. She was on a competing channel at the same time. Now she been moved to the morning on the network that you're on. So, can we just please stop forgiving people for that's not asking for forgiveness, and forgive ourselves? Yes, we got caught up. You get caught up. You're going to get caught up. It might happen again and again and again. If you stop running around here trying to forgive people that ain't asking for forgiveness, girl. And then they talking about her wearing her natural hair, and she got it pulled. It's like, first of all, you got her talking about she gonna wear her natural hair, Chanel, and it's pulled back in a ponytail. That's lazy. Like, girl, let your hair out. I don't care if it do cast a shadow on Al Roker. I don't care make Al have to lean. Yeah, you gotta lean because I got big hair. Okay, don't care. Don't be leaning from him. Make him have to lean. Make him have to slide his chair over. Y'all on there, fellas, with all that man spread. Al, is she? That's what I was like. Is she leaning because she knows something, or is she leaning just simply because of man spread? Because fellas, y'all be spreading all over the place. I'm like, I was at the training, and there was a guy in the chair behind me. And I can't even lean back. I'm like, dude, can you move? I want to lean back in my chair. You in your chair, all in my chair. Your leg coming all around my chair. I'm like, hello, fix it. Fix it. I'm like, can I sit back? I want to sit back and not be all between your legs. It's like, and the fact that he was so oblivious. He was absolutely oblivious. It's like, dude, you have become the circumference of my entire space. And mind you, when I tell you I was sitting on an empty row, he came and sat on an empty row directly behind me because I want the comfort of an aisle seat too. Okay? I wanted the comfort. I sat first. I want the comfort of an aisle seat because I got equipment. I got a purse. I got to carry this bag and all this stuff. And I got to film. So you got pockets, first and foremost. You got hella pockets. I'm got on a dress, ain't got nan pockets. So I got to carry all this stuff. He comes and sit, not a couple of rows over, not directly behind me, stretches all out, legs all wide, one leg going around, coming on down the aisle, and I'm like, I go to sit back, and I'm like, I'm sitting in your damn lap. You need to move. Oblivious he was. Absolutely oblivious to the man spread. Any other person would have been intimidated. I'm not going to sit here on the edge of my seat, and I'm not moving. I chose this side, this section, this row. I sat first. Fix it. Move your leg, move your chair, go. Because I'm not going to sit here and no, we don't do that here. All right, anyway, that's just it. I'm like, hair, fight. We got to fight to wear natural hair when other folks got all this other stuff going on that's being suppressed because they've been men. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about men and women. And I'm not even talking about men and women. I'm talking about human nature. I'm talking about personality. Let me go back up here and grab the comments. I'm talking about just simply personalities, because regardless of your gender, your race, your nationality, and all that, just down to the fact of being human and the personality, daggone, the comments done jump 3 times. Okay. Don Lemon. That's what I was trying to remember. Thank you, Laura. Don Lemon. Don Lemon. One time I was at an event, and I'll give you all the backstory to the Don Lemon story. I'm a blogger, so I have often blogged about the failures of at CNN. Don Lemon played. CNN was cleaning house, and Don Lemon played every card not to get swept out. So therefore, he's still at CNN. Not one of their best. Was nowhere near one of the best they had over there. In fact, had the people over there trolling CNN right now on Twitter. All the people that they have fired are trolling CNN on Twitter. Let me tell y'all, Solar Bread. I don't know, Solar Dad. I said Solar Bread. Solar Dad O'Brien. I don't know if the bots have taken over her account, if she's hacked. I'm praying that it ain't her. But the trolling that's coming out of her timeline, I mean, like tweeting like everybody, every second, it's a troll tweet coming off of Solar Dad's thing. But CNN several years ago was cleaning house, and I mean they clean house. And Don Lemon was playing every card he could not to get swept out, and so therefore he's still there. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper made one of the biggest mistakes ever. Anderson Cooper was mad because, and I don't know if Anderson Cooper was mad. I was mad that they didn't, when Larry King retired, I was like, oh, they're surely going to give Anderson Cooper that spot. They didn't give Anderson Cooper that spot. They brought the foreigner in, which somebody tell me his name. They brought him in, and Anderson Cooper started trying to do these entertainment shows. And the worst thing he did was he signed a deal to go do a daytime entertainment show, and then and this lets you know that Regis did not want Anderson. I'm assuming it looked like Regis really didn't want Anderson Cooper on there with Kelly. So hours seemed like after Anderson signed his TV deal, Regis went ahead and retired. Anderson in his deal could not then, I guess, jump over there with Kelly. But there have been many opportunities for him to go to Kelly, leaving behind his excellent journalistic skills, because during all that time he was covering the war. So anyway, the guy that was at night ended up with Larry King's spot. Anderson had to go do another spot, and then so forth. And they did the whole realignment. I don't even know if they even brought anybody else in. They did the horrible thing of pairing Anderson with Kathy to do the New Year's Eve thing. And Don Lemon does the New Year's Eve thing, getting drunk and all that kind of stuff. Just horrible. It's a horrible network. It's not, there's nothing, they add nothing at this point. So lo and behold, I was at one of the galas. Don Lemon was there and getting an award. Don Lemon recognized me. They were up there taking pictures afterwards and so forth. One of my good friends who gets me in the galas, and I need to let him know he got me in an event this week, and I didn't get a chance to go, didn't get a chance to make it because I had to stop on the side of the road and edit some damn video that I thought was ready to go, and they were like, it's not playing, what happened? So I had to stop, and I didn't get a chance, sitting in traffic, was already late for traffic, and I was like, okay, everything's going wrong, go home. So anyway, I was at this gala, this war gala that they do here in Atlanta. You know, they love saluting Black excellence. And Don got an award that night at CNN. I was like, well, really? Okay, cool. Okay, whatever. But anyway, so Don was there getting an award. And at the time, I liked Don Lemon. I just had higher hopes for Don Lemon. So afterwards, everybody's running around taking pictures and networking. And Don looked, and he said, you. He literally jumped down from the stage and came up to me. And my friend was standing, I was like, security! But he comes up and he says, and he proceeds to try to explain to me or tell me that his show had improved from the things that I had blogged about. And he said, you must not be watching him because I wouldn't talk about him no more. And so we proceeded to have conversation as to what are some of the things that he could do, because Don he was giving commentary at the time, sometime before that, on a radio show that I used to listen to and also, whatever. And I used to always complain, like, man, we need more than what you're bringing to the table. You need to give us a little bit of opinion. Now, they give a lot of opinion over there now, but this is during the time where a lot of the anchors felt like they could not give any opinion because, hell, they can't even wear their natural hair, and they were so worried about being fired. Everybody at that time was worried about being fired, and they were trying to do the whole cookie cutter. Morgan, yes, Mr. Morgan, P. Morgan, was on there, got the Larry King spot. So Don was trying to tell me he could not be as opinionated as I desired him to be because of his job. It was a job. It's a career. Got to read the script. Got to say what the producers are telling us in our ear, and got to do this and got to do that. And my thing was, what's it all for? What's it all for? And I said, and I proceeded to tell him, you were on air in Chicago. Chicago was having has the worst, people have the worst, and this is basically what I was telling him. I was like, you used to be on air in Chicago. People have the worst perception of Chicago. They need you right now. You're on air on CNN. You need to talk about these things. We need, because it's according to my ideology around media apartheid is, I'm sorry, if we're going to be in these, if we're going to be the faces in these spaces, then we need to start impacting these stories. We need to start changing up and disrupting some of this narrative that's going on, and stop letting these people say all this stuff, and stop going on that, just reading that script, basically, which is what the majority of them do. Stop just reading that script, getting your paycheck and going home, because it's creating a perception that's going to create an optics that's going to take us down the road where we are right now. And you have an opportunity to do something about that. So he and I were kind of just having a little, just a little bit of a powwow. There were no ill feelings and no malice. In fact, he introduced me to his love interest at the time. Sorry to this man, because he ain't the love interest at this time. I don't think. I think he has a new one. But and I don't know. I was introduced, and we had a good conversation and so forth and so on. But I walked away from. I'd said to him, I said, because at the time he would have all these panels, and the panels would get all out of control. And I was like, you need to control your panels a little bit more, and this, that, and the other, And I'm just giving advice from a viewer's standpoint, And I said, kind of like Charlie Rose. Now Charlie Rose come back to bite me in the. He was probably actually biting women for real. So let me not say that. I have to take that back. Although Charlie Rose had some real skill, but I know if I ever run into Don again, that Charlie Rose is gonna be the thing he's gonna be like Charlie Rose, huh? Anyway. But I still don't watch CNN. I still don't all out trust Don Lemon as far as somebody that represents us. And I don't know what's going on there. I don't know how he has improved or anything like that. I didn't have that kind of expectation there. So, but when you think about, when I talk about all this stuff going on, now here we got a black woman on NBC on the third hour of television trying to wear her natural hair, and these men, her counterparts, got all this other kind of stuff going on, and it's okay. But women, are like having trouble because they want to have a baby, or they want to take care of their family, or they want time off, or they want flexibility, they want this, that, and the other, and it's an all-out war against women. But and one of the reasons men get away with this stuff is because either the women don't know. Do y'all not know that these men are out here doing all kind of stuff and keeping their jobs and moving on up the ladder? It's like, it's crazy. Like there's a major shift of the guy leaving Fox, right now. I mean, did y'all not watch that show about what goes on behind the scenes at Fox? He probably trying to stay alive. He probably like, yeah, I'm gonna take this and go. Cause you're not gonna be up here threatening my life. Ain't no telling what's going on over there, allegedly. And that's the thing about it. There's no telling what's going on there. And as you ask the questions, demand some follow-up on this stuff, true follow-up. I mean, these people ain't just out here just entertaining us. These people are forming perceptions in our minds that's creating behaviors that we're exacting on each other in society. So it's a little bit more than turning on and turning off your television. They're meetings of the minds. Right now, we're having meetings of the mind. These things are real. And right now, Fox News, guess who's most displeased with? I'm displeased with CNN, but guess who's most displeased with Fox? Trump. And guess who needs to get elected with the help of Fox? So you might see a bunch of shifting going on over there. Let me scroll back. Since she said you are hilarious. Breast to breast as a suggestion. Ooh. Breast to breast as a suggestion for a replacement for meeting at the womb. Some of them are getting womb implants now, honey. Let me tell you, but breast to breast. Chest to chest. Oh no. But my goal, Linda, is I don't want us to even have to. I just want to say woman. And everybody that identifies as that, I want them to be included. You know? And I don't want us not to have to talk about our, because one of the things that trans women don't have to deal with, that we have to deal with, is certain health issues. We still got to talk about those certain health issues, and to be able to talk about our health issues and them not feel it's dismissive of them. So we still have to talk about the womb, because there's a lot that goes on in the womb. So, and we still need, but we need to, without having to grab 15,000 alphabets when there's only 26, okay, but infinite combinations, we need to not have to identify. You don't need to call me a cis hetero woman in order to identify me when we're talking about how much we care about things that go on in the world, and because you are trying to identify as a woman. Well, that's what I am. So therefore, how is it that we can't find things in common? You're trying to identify as something that I am, and yet we can't find something in common. That's a concern to me. Okay, let me see, make sure I scroll it. Which way am I scrolling? Okay, got it. I agree, but the society we live in, they want labels. And you know what? As an influencer, the one thing, we got a battery warning over here. Let me get ready to get out of here. The one thing I can do as an influencer is stick to my position to say and help us get to a point that we don't need the labels, because that's what we can do. We can choose a lane, and that's what I'm choosing to say, sis, you ain't got to do all that. I hate labels. Labels are, exactly, they are dismissive, and that's why the LGBTQIA, and I think they added another one just recently, keeps adding on, because the L's, LGs, the gays felt like they were dismissive by the L's. And then you got the LGB, the bisexual felt like they were being dismissive. Then you got the T, the trans felt like they were being dismissed. The Q, the queer was like, well, wait a minute, and then the I, and then here come the A, and all these other kind of things, So that's what labels do. It's like, I don't want to have to check a box. And I think as an influencer, if I say, okay, I'm going to blog another year, I'm trying to make it 2020, I want to be able to say I've done this for 20 years, then I can say, well, my editorial schedule over here is to help us get rid of the labels. Now, yes, we still have a podcast, and one of the ways that I can do that is, being that I did not blog about hair, and particularly only the salon, I have a very strong, large male following. Some of the very first events and very first initiatives that I did in the 90s were for men first, who then said, okay, bring women to the table. Now that you've helped us figure out who we are, what we're supposed to be, or you've allowed us, because I didn't do that. I only facilitated providing opportunities for them to take time to figure it out. And they were like, okay, now that we have figured it out, bring the women to the table. So then I started bringing the women to the table, and then came Dryer Buzz. Oh, let's put a name on this. Let's call it Dryer Buzz, right? So I can say, as an influencer who is able to hold an audience for damn near 2 hours on a Saturday podcast, right? I can say, listen, I can help us. I know how we get rid of these labels. I know how we get rid of these labels. We dial it back to the mere fact that we are human. And anybody that disagrees with that they really not trying to have a conversation. Because I'm just simply talking about behaviors that are human nature. And it doesn't matter the hue of the skin. It doesn't matter the genitalia, the gender. It doesn't matter all these other things, they don't matter. Because there is some bare basics that you can say one is right and the other is wrong. One is correct and the other is incorrect in that matter. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, it is. We did go long. I'm glad I did bring in the comments. I'm glad I was able to answer your questions. For those of you that came in and want to go ahead and get a replay on this, we started out just talking about, believe it or not, 3 topics. We talked a little bit about Tyler Perry and how Tyler Perry, in celebrating and opening his studio, had to bring some people to the table that once upon a time thought his work was absolute buffoonery. So there was some forgiveness there. We also talked about Judge Huggable and how she may not have helped the situation, or maybe she has, and the fact that there is now plenty of dialogue going on that. And then we talked about women trying to wear their natural hair on air when they're sitting right next to counterparts that have done far worse, or let me just say bad things, because there's nothing worse or bad about your hair. Okay? But it's like, wait a minute, you trying to tell a lady she can't come to work because she wants to come to work in her natural state, but you got a guy, the whole history of your network is men who harm the women that work for you. I'm gonna need you to let her roll up in there any kind of way she wants to. I mean, I'm just saying. I am just saying. And I'm asking you guys to budget or bash it. I'm gonna put down one device, pick up the others. We get ready to get out of here. Let me tell you, find a channel. There's one thing I need you to do, and I probably should have had that. Well, it actually is on the screen, but I'm gonna throw this up there. Go to dryerbus.com, find a channel, and add us to your favorites if you want to follow us. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, definitely YouTube where it counts, where we monetize. If you want to hear the Tyler Perry interview we did 12 years ago, where you can hear the makings of a studio, you can literally hear Tyler talking about the makings of what will become from his beginnings to becoming studios. Just because it says Tyler Perry Studios. It's not Tyler Perry Studio. It's Tyler Perry Studios. Bro got an S on that thing. So, y'all. But anyway, if you want to hear that interview, I had to go back and listen to it. It was surprising myself at some of the things that I openly, honestly asked him, and that he answered them all. And just amazing with the work that he's done. Still want to know why I ain't seen them or did down to the studios. But anyway, and then also AskDryerBuzz.com. If you want to wake up famous, perhaps you want to start a channel, start a podcast, or start a business, or grow your business, but you want to wake up famous, everybody knowing your name or your brand, your reputation, go check out what we're offering to you at AskDryerBuzz.com. You want to do a call with me, pick my brain, do a side-by-side, a one-on-one, or if you want to download any of our automated courses and get any of the books, all of that is at Ask Dryer Buzz. Ask Dryer Buzz. Go and check that out. All right, y'all, I'm going to ask y'all to do one more thing for me. Do this for me right now.
Go now to dryerbuzz.com and follow @DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.